Hello and welcome to the Australian Ghost Whisperer. I'm James Jennings with Katerina Legato. Hi, Kat.
Hello, James, and hi, everyone. Welcome back.
We've got a fascinating topic for today's show that I'm really looking forward to going deep into, because I know that you're an expert in all things mystical and otherworldly. So tell us about it. What's our topic for today?
Our topic for today is I want to speak about starseed children and starseed adults.
Okay.
I'm having waves of starseed children. The parents are bringing for me to help them to understand them better.
Okay, so can you explain what a starseed child or a starseed parent is?
Starseed child is a child that is a very old soul that's come through, sometimes from another reality or another planet of a much more evolved species than humanity, that has come here to actually help humanity in our evolution, because as a human species we are also here to evolve and raise the frequency and vibration of our planet and of each other. And sometimes it's really difficult for humanity to do it alone. So we have assistance by these beautiful starseed children that come in to bring their energy, their high vibe, and be able to bring obviously also their wisdom and their grace and help guide, teach. And you will often find starseed children that are often, will grow up and become, amazing psychics or healers or counselors, psychologists. A lot of the alternative healing realms, they'll be working in one of those industries, because that's obviously the best way that they're going to have the contact with the people to help them to grow and evolve.
Right.
Because as a human species, we've come to a point on our planet where we definitely need to evolve and ascend and help raise the frequency and vibration of the planet. And that's why we're having so many natural disasters. There's so much sickness on the planet. We're obviously, as a human species, destroying the planet. It's overly polluted. We're not taking care of the planet. So much of the, bush is burning. There's so many constant fires. And so these are all warning signs to us that we're not doing the work that needs to be done in order to keep our planet healthy and be able to continue to experience this reality. So there are other beings, highly evolved beings in other realities and other dimensions that make that decision to come and help our evolution. Because as we evolve as a human species, then what happens is that we're helping the other species to evolve also, because we're all interconnected. So a lot of soul seed children are of these other realities, of these other realms, and they choose to come here, and they can kind of look down and say, oh gosh, they're in a pickle, I'm going to go in and help. Now,
in a pickle's a pretty charitable way to describe humanity at the moment.
Yeah, we're really in a mess. So what happens is that these children obviously will choose the right parents that will help them to do what they need to do, that will obviously assist them on their journey. But sometimes these parents are bringing these children into me because they're like, my child just doesn't like being around a lot of people, or my child is talking to a lot of spirit friends, or my child is not interested in school, because for them they're so beyond school at another level, at a soul level. It's like, so these are little indications, but mainly children that are starseeds are very, very incredibly psychic or intuitive, and will be very choosy about the kind of people that they want to hang around with. Starseed children will often have a little group of friends. They're not big social children. They will have like a small group of friends. They like to be around their own like-minded crowd. Starseed children often are incredibly sensitive and can get hurt quite easily. And starseed children often feel the pain of others. This is something else that a lot of parents bring their children in. As they get older, they're feeling the pain of others, or they're feeling the pain of, if there's a loss in the family, or if one of their pets die. It really hurts them very deeply, because they feel the pain so very deeply. But these starseed children are incredibly, their vibration is so illuminated. They're so high frequency children. Like when you're in their presence, you can kind of feel that there's something quite different about them. And they do have so much light within their genetic codes. Their genetic codes are quite different to ours, because they've already evolved, they've done the work, they've come from another reality where everybody lives in peace and harmony. And so therefore they can be quite shocked at the way we're carrying on here. So these children often can't understand why, it's like, but why are these people doing this? Or why are we fighting with our neighbors? Or why? And so often, and these are many of the reasons why they kind of land in my healing room, and I'm often able to help the parent to understand that their child has these amazing gifts and has come here for a specific purpose and mission. And it's such a beautiful, when I meet these children, they're just so bright, their aura, their energy, their frequency. And often, if the child is old enough, I'm able to have a little chat to them and help them to understand their gifts a little better, and be able to obviously guide them sometimes on their journey. I even met, this was at a house clearing, an incredible young man. He was about, I think, 19, 20, and he had the most amazing gift, a psychic gift, and I feel like he just didn't know where to go, and I think his parents didn't quite understand his gift, and it just, when I was able to tap into him and help him to understand, I could just feel his whole face lit up. He just felt like, wow, he's somebody that understands me. But what these beautiful star children and young adults, they're holding that sacred space. They're holding the light. They're helping to hold the light here on this planet, to help to raise the vibration of this planet. Starseed children and starseed adults will often also pretty much will not want to be very fussy about what they eat. And often I found that they really work well with a vegan diet. They often will not want to eat the body of a tortured animal, because that will not resonate with their vibration. They often will want to be quite vegetarian or vegan, or want to eat food that are very colorful, because it helps to keep their vibration and energy colorful. And they're incredibly creative. They're very, very creative. I find that with a starseed child, that they often will learn much more easily through using a creative form of teaching, rather than that black and white that's taught at school. So these are indicators of that you may have a starseed child, or you've got a starseed adult or young adult, and so these are ways that you can support them. And often I've noticed too with starseed children that they will have quite a few allergies to our food. So that's why I'm saying the diet can be really important for them, and sometimes it's important to try them on a more of a plant-based diet, because it will work better for them. They can't really, because they're so high frequency, they can't often work with very dense, heavy foods, and so this will show up as a being quite sensitive, like to the dense sort of meat or processed food, or a lot of garbage processed food, chocolate, sugars, things like that. So they do often require a very clean diet in order for them to be able to continue to work with their gifts. It's really important with starseed children and young adults to introduce them to meditation, teach them to meditate, because again, when they've come from a very high frequency, when they come here, unfortunately, a lot of their gifts are quite suppressed and squashed. Their memories obviously are wiped. They don't remember why they came here. But by meditating, they can begin to activate that memory, begin to go within. They can access their higher self, and then they have also, what I find with starseed children and young adults, then they have more access to their family in the higher realms, in the higher realms where they've come from, higher planets, and they're able to then access the downloads and get the support and whatever it is that they need to help them with their journey.
Okay. And so it sounds like you get a fair amount of parents who bring their kids in to see you. Just tell me about how the parents are normally. Like, are they normally, are they a little bit freaked out? Are they a little bit like, I don't know what's going on? How do parents react when their child is like this typically?
They're often very concerned because obviously they know their child is different.
Okay.
But they kind of can't put their finger on it, or they don't quite understand why their child just wants alone time when they've like organized a party and all the friends, they're like, no, I just want to be alone. So they worry obviously because they are different. But once you sort of once I explain it to them, they're quite, they kind of get it and it kind of makes sense. And then they're quite excited that they do have this beautiful child that's come into their family. And it's a real honor to birth a starseed child into this reality. It is a real honor because these starseed children will be very particular about the parents that they choose because it's really important they have parents that will enable them to support them and allow them the freedom to grow in their way and what is needed for them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's very hard to go against the grain in this world. You
have to be very brave.
You got to be very brave. Exactly. You got to be brave, but also have the support network around you to help you carve your own path, right?
But also very important for that parent to accept what their child is needing, obviously in a balanced way. But being able to say, okay, right, so my child's really struggling with school. So perhaps they might need a different type of learning. A lot of starseed children do really well perhaps in like a Steiner school or a Montessori, one of those schools that are a little bit more alternative. Often starseed children don't want to be part of a huge, big school. And having said that, starseed children can also be quite stubborn and strong-willed. It's like, no, I'm not doing this.
Right.
I'm not going to this school, or I'm not doing... So this is just their inner strength coming out. Because when you push them in a corner, they will speak up for themselves. So it can be difficult to navigate a starseed child, but if you work with them and you look for the alternatives and you look for what they need, you introduce them to meditation, you introduce them to kind of, being able to work with whatever they feel is going to make them feel happy, then it's quite amazing what these children will achieve as young adults.
So it sounds like it's common that starseed children...
There are a lot more starseed children coming into the planet.
Right.
There has been for the last, I would say, good 10 years. I've seen an influx of starseed children. Okay. Because, look, the way I know most people don't want to hear this, but what we're doing to our planet is we're getting close to kind of making ourselves extinct. Now, if our planet is destroyed, obviously it's going to destroy the rest of the galaxies and the universes around us. So this is why a lot of this starseed or other high evolved beings are choosing to come here to help us along. Obviously, they're not going to do it for us, but they will help.
Because it seems to me that, the people who are, the things that are destroying the planet, to me, seems like, massive corporations.
That's corrupt. Always.
Corrupt corporations, corrupt governments.
Because it's all about the money.
Yeah. So they're the things which are, you know, negatively impacting the planet. So my question is, you know, typically you see people in those positions of power, those corporations or in government, who clearly aren't starseed type people.
Oh God, no.
So how does starseed children or adults get into a position of influence where they can actually make widespread change? Because at the moment it seems like, you know, something much darker has a grip on our planet.
Well, this is, having said that, there is, because we live in this reality of duality, unfortunately, we do have a lot of soulless, if you like to say, that they're not really humans, that are connected to the dark side, that want to keep taking this planet and keeping it in a low vibration, because then that wipes out all the dark realms.
Right.
See, there are many dark energies and dark realms, dark, you know, entities that have a great influence over humanity. And so you will often find them in these various industries that are destroying the planet. And so therefore, there's this battle going on at the moment between the light and darkness, because obviously those of us who are more highly evolved and want to save this planet, but also not just save the planet, save ourselves and be able to evolve and move our planet into a beautiful, you know, where it can be a place of love, peace and harmony rather than the destruction. But there's a big battle, because we have to be able to raise our vibration frequency, all of us, as a unified consciousness, in order to make it very uncomfortable for these dark, you know, these dark entities to exist on our planet. Because when the vibration and frequency is so high and this planet is bombarded by the light that we can bring in, then they won't be able to exist within this reality any longer, the dark realms, because we're holding too much light. But the problem is that we've allowed the darkness to influence and bring its destruction into this planet for so very thousands and thousands of years, that they have a stronghold on this planet. But this is the crunch time. That's why we're being hit by all these challenges at the moment. Now, I mean, there's a lot of people just living in ignorant bliss and they don't care. They're just living their life and they're just service to self. And that's unfortunate. But there is a lot, I think there's a great awakening where most people, even those that are not starseeds, are kind of going like, what is going on? But it's so, this is how we can get through this and change this. And it may take many lifetimes before this change happens, but it is about, you know, healing ourselves, healing our own traumas, because when people have healed their own traumas, they can see more clearly the traumas around them that are going on with the planet. And that it needs healing. You know, so once we're able to work through our own traumas, then we can help heal and raise the frequency of the planet. And the more we do that, the more we're going to clear out all these dark entities that have had this stronghold over humanity for eons and eons.
It really does feel that way. It really does feel like
it does. For those who are awakened, like I said, it's quite frustrating when you see people just living in ignorant bliss that are just like, everything's fine and everything's back to normal again. And it's not like that at all, you know. There is a lot of chaos on this planet, and only we can change the mess that we've made.
Absolutely.
You know, and I know that there is a lot more connection now with the more high ETs coming in, and there are those amazing skilled people that have the abilities to connect with these high ETs, or being able to connect with their guides and getting this help. But again, it's up to us to do this. We no one else is not gonna, no ETs are gonna come in and clean up the polluted oceans and rivers and lakes. We have to look at doing this. We have to look at how we can change our lifestyles in order to support our planet rather than continue the destruction. I mean, we are supporting these huge industries because we've become accustomed to a way of life.
Yeah, it's that, but also I think that people have been led to believe they're powerless.
But this is what the dark robes want. This is how they influence humanity. You're powerless. You're nothing. You're a sinner. You're bad.
You won't make any difference. I think people have been tricked into thinking that they can't make a difference. They can't change things. But the simple fact is that we do
need
have
to
the power.
make a difference.
We do.
And we do. Yeah.
But we can. Like if everyone on the planet decided, you know what, pick anything. This has to stop. You know, like this, whatever this is, like, you know, pollution via this, whatever, this needs to stop. And if let's say it's a business, if everyone was just like, well,
we won't support this particular industry any longer.
Then it's over.
It's over.
But so we're
going to have a fishless ocean in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's again the lungs of our planet, you know, the oxygen. So this is what we're looking at. But if you keep buying the seafood, guys, then that's going to happen even more quickly. So I think we all need to look at our lifestyles and, you know, and see what can I do, you know, to help to heal, to help to change. Otherwise, humanity will go extinct, guaranteed. I've been seeing this for a long time. I was told this way before even COVID started, that there was going to be a great awakening on this planet, and that it was time for change, and the time is now, and so these starseed children are here again to help and guide, and you know, they are the voices often to encourage humanity to stand in their power, because again, humanity has been suppressed via these dark entities, via these dark influences that want to keep humanity suppressed and keep them here as slaves, and they harness off the emotions and the suffering they harness. That's like loosh for them. They feed off. You know, you want to feed a demon its lunch, cry, be fearful, you know, feel desperate, feel powerless. That demon's gonna suck it up like a beautiful 5-star meal. This is what feeds the dark forces, is our pain and suffering. But when we are no longer in that place of duality, where we start to just want to know that we can experience this pure love and harmony and inner peace, then they have no claim over us any longer. We need to break free from these dark influences by standing in our power and knowing we can make a difference.
So starseeds, it sounds to me, they are highly sensitive individuals. So yeah, it sounds to me like they're going to have a pretty tough journey on this planet, because
they look at things with horror. They're horrified.
Yeah, but how does someone who is highly sensitive navigate the world we live in? I mean that's just a rhetorical question. It's like how? Because we live in a society that is becoming increasingly devoid of empathy, increasingly devoid of realizing we are powerful and have a strong connection to each other. And again, it's that being tricked into believing that we are these singular entities, and it's, you know, I've got to protect myself, I've got to look after myself, without realizing that everything we do impacts everything around us.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like such a vast problem. But do you think these starseeds can?
Well, I think that it's
a big job.
It's a big job, and I do feel like there are many starseeds here. But I also feel there is a great awakening taking place, and I feel like all the challenges we've experienced in the last few years has helped that awakening. And as we go through more challenges, which there will be more challenges throughout the next few years here on this planet, there's nothing to do but to get up and face them head on, and know that we can heal these situations, we can change these situations, we can, you know, send more love out and help heal wherever healing is needed, and healing's needed everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I do feel that there is absolutely that it is possible, but it's going to take commitment from everybody, not just I'm going to leave it because those people are going to do it over there, or it's going to take a great deal of commitment.
Yeah.
For every person to be committed to their own particular awakening and their own personal growth in order for this to happen. And we have no choice but to do it. It's useless. It's pointless if we're not doing the work and we're just living our lives, because we're going to go to the other side and then we're going to look back at our lives and feel so bad that we could have done so much more, that we could have, to make this lifetime really, a valuable experience, and a valuable and profound experience where we can leave this lifetime and know that we made a difference, that we came here and we achieved something.
What I find with most people, and this isn't a judgment, it's basically everyone that I know, well, mostly everyone I know, like 99.9% of people, is that if you bring attention to the fact that there are vast problems, everyone just wants to stick their head in the sand. Like it's not even that they won't admit that there is a problem. It's almost like
it's too
they
hard.
admit it, but then they're like, I'm sticking my head back in the sand. And the problem is when everyone is sticking their head in the sand, and coming from someone who tries not to stick their head in the sand, I try and urge people to, get your head out the sand, and no one wants to do it because it's uncomfortable, and we are creatures of comfort, and we have come to expect a certain level of comfort in our lives. And who doesn't? I like being comfortable. Everyone likes being comfortable, but at what cost? When that comfort means ignoring really important issues that have an impact on society at large and our individual lives, and those issues are going to become greater and bigger and
but
more
that's
serious.
what will bring the change.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the greater the issues, the more then people will be willing to change. Change only happens when you are pushed out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Whilst you're in your comfort zone, you're just going to go plod along and be quite happy. But as the challenges rise, then we will be pushed to kind of change, to evolve, to find ways to move past the challenges that are ahead for humanity. But I also feel that there is, you're talking about people that are perhaps, there is a group of people that are, I think, highly influenced by the dark realms. I'm sorry to say that, and they don't give a shit. Like, basically, they don't care.
Yeah.
But I do feel that there is a vast amount of very enlightened people who do care, and by speaking up and going out are awakening other people. So as much as I'm sort of seeing like a great divide, I'm seeing those that, I call them non-player characters that don't give a shit, that are kind of under the influence of the dark realms, just looking after themselves. I feel that they will eventually go into another dimension. It will be a lower dimension of this earth, where it will not be so pleasant for them. And I feel that the other, the enlightened, awakened humans will take this planet into that higher dimension and will be able to achieve the healing. Because ultimately, if this doesn't happen, that the planet cannot be destroyed. So the split will need to happen. It will need to, in order for the healing to take place. So as much as these people frustrate the crap out of most of us when we look at them and you try and talk to them, and it's like they're just vague, you can see they're just they're not, the lights are on and no one's home, but they will be moved into a lower dimensional planet Earth that will not be anything like this. So it's just, and they will kind of have to start again, basically.
Yeah, well, we've done meditation and channeling sessions together in the past, and I've also got that very, very strong message that there is a division coming, that there's a split coming, and
It's a frequency,
Yeah.
vibrational.
It's one way to describe it as well. It's almost as though, like, if everything's thrown here on Earth at the moment and there's grey, it's like that grey is getting drawn into white and black. You know, like the negative and the positive will no longer be kind of like all in a glob. It's all going to be separated into two very distinct
They won't be able
things.
to coexist.
Yeah, that's a very
So
good way
the
to put it.
realities shift.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a split coming.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because if those people that don't care, they'll just be caught up in that reality where that will just split off from. They can't coexist with those of us who are doing the work and raising the frequency and doing the healing. It's no longer a match energetically.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what will happen. And that's happening at the moment.
Oh, of course it is.
It's happening right now. Like, I'm hearing people saying, I can no longer feel connected to particular friends or my family, or there's so much separation going on. But that's all part of that split that's already taking place.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, it's not an energetic match anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can't coexist. So we're in the midst of this battle right now, and I believe that you hold your intention of wanting the very best for yourself, for others, and for the planet. You hold your intention. You are willing to grow, to evolve, to step into your power. That's what's going to help. But if you're sitting and you're just feeling sorry for yourself, then you're making the work harder for those that are willing to do the work.
Yeah.
And you don't need to feel that way. You can work through things, and you can come through to the other side of those challenges.
It's a choice. And the time is come to choose. It's sort of like, which way do you want to go? And the people who don't want to make a choice, the people who are sitting on the fence, they're going to get shaken off that fence. Don't you think?
Well, they will get moved into a reality like that is going to be a lot denser than this one that we're in now, and they will have to start again.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
It
good.
doesn't. It's not. Yeah, it's not the most promising thing. But it's just what you're choosing. It's what we're choosing.
And the star seeds are here to, I guess, be little guiding
Their
lights
voices,
to try
absolutely.
and point things in the right direction.
Exactly.
And go,
exactly.
this is light the way forward.
And a lot of children of the future that are born into this planet at the moment want the privilege of growing up in a planet that is healthy and beautiful, and otherwise there's no point in being here any longer, is there?
Yeah, 100%.
When the ocean becomes fishless and we've burnt down all the jungles and we've burnt down all the trees, then how can we won't be able to exist in that climate at all.
Yeah.
So we have no choice but to do it,
Yeah.
Some people are very climate change, it's not real, and I think this is just cop out. I think people often will say, if they don't want to believe in something, that's it's not real, it's just conspiracy theories. But I think you have a good look around. I think the truth will be there. It will show you.
Climate change is obvious. It's like you've only got to open your eyes and see what's happening around the planet with record temperatures and really wild weather patterns, and it's there. And not only that, science backs it up. Like, you have scientists who are now getting arrested because they're doing protests, going, take us seriously, like this. And so, I mean, if scientists are getting arrested at protests about climate change, if that doesn't make you think that that's some kind of warning that we're in big trouble, then I don't know what to say.
Well, I often meditate on the consciousness of the spirit of our Mother Earth, and she needs to heal. She's not happy with us.
Yeah,
because there's so much. She's held this sacred space for she needs to heal. So obviously, she's going to kind of create a lot of earthquakes and things like that to help awaken. It's like when you've got a heap of bad children, you're going to start to lose your patience, and you're going to make those lessons harder.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, we've come to a pivotal point in history where, we need to kind of look around and want the very best for the future of the future children of this planet, and also for nature and the wildlife and the fish in the ocean and the animals. If we keep just destroying, there's just one day going to be nothing left for anybody.
Yeah, well, it's people treating the earth like an inexhaustible source of whatever
resources.
They want. But resources, it's exhaustible. It's finite, and again, I think we've been tricked into believing that we've got this infinite source of everything. That's absolutely not true. It's like it's finite. We are using it up, and we are starting to pay the price. And what that means is that humanity needs to actually live its life in a radically different way than it is now.
Yeah, and it is. It's going to take time for people to realise that, because it means changing the lifestyles that we have got so used to.
Exactly. It's like the change is going to be immense.
Well, part of that split, I feel, is also with those who will go into the organic earth and those that will live in the non-organic. That's part of those changes. So that's how it's going to
be. Well, that's maybe a topic for another episode or that we can go into. But that's it's a fascinating topic. So there you go. You may be a starseed watching. Maybe you've got a starseed child.
I hope this has helped you to better understand your child. And even if you're not a starseed, you are still an incredibly powerful being that's been you've had thousands of incarnations into this planet, and you have the ability to create. We are creators. You can create more peace and love within your own lives, those of your families, and that of the planet also. So never feel that you disempowered. Don't allow anyone to make you feel, or any organization to make you feel that you're not good enough.
Or you can't make a difference, because you can.
Yeah.
Everyone can.
We all can.
All right. Well, on that note, let's might leave the episode there for this week. But thanks again, Katerina.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, lots of love to you all.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.
To gain access to private spiritual development classes, guided meditations, and live Q&As with Katerina, please visit www.patreon. That's patreon.com/The Australian Ghost Whisperer.